Hello, this is Caleb with Garden Sewer Service at 4907 Sherman Street. So, let's go ahead and go over a couple things before we start to talk about the sewer. One, I did have to cut the bolts off for this toilet because they were so rusted. This one has not been removed for quite some time. Prior to starting, I did flush the toilet to evacuate it, to do the pool. Went downstairs and I did see that there is a slight leak on a fern Now it might be as simple as replacing that fern but I think that all that cast needs to get replaced because I can't guarantee that just a simple fern replacement would fix that small leak. So got a couple things going on plumbing wise that I just want to address. So we will replace the bolts on the toilet, that's not an issue. But the angle stop for the toilet does not shut all the way off. If you hear a little bit of drip of water right now, that is why. I had to go into the bucket so I can do my job. Then I saw the leak on the fern but I also saw a slight leak on the galvanized portion of the drain from the bathtub coming down. It's very slight. I ran water for about 20 minutes and maybe 3 drops dropped. But those are a couple things that I don't know if you have your own plumber that need to get addressed or if you would like us to do that. But angle stop, replacing the cast iron underneath the toilet, as well as maybe that leak for the galvanized for the tub. So there's 3 things right there. If you would like for us to come back and do an estimate walk, estimate walks are free, but that is something that you can call into the office and have them do. Another thing is that there are no cleanouts whatsoever in this building for the sewer, so cleaning and cameraing the sewer has to be done from the toilet. Luckily we do have a sweep that is nice, meaning that we can directionally go where we need to, but you cannot clean the drain for the sewer through a floor drain. You cannot clean the drain from the ceiling or from the roof because it's on a T, and we're not allowed to do that anymore. And there are no cleanouts outside, and I verified that. So I am going to recommend to put outside risers in, and the reason why I'm recommending that is because we have to downgrade our blade size to get through multiple 90-degree turns. We have even more 45-degree turns, and the toilet sweep is 3 inches and it eventually opens up to 4. So we cannot get our 4-inch blades through, and by 3-inch blades I actually have to bend the blades in just to get all the way out there. So for the snaking of the line, I went 120 feet 3 different times. Before I started the snaking, I did see quite a bit of roots around 30 to 45 feet. I could not get past the roots. They were that big. Now, my 3-inch blades did cut the vast majority out of there, but you're still going to see what I wish I could cut out more, but no matter how many times I stuck my cable in there and tried to focus on that spot, it's just kind of like, it's moving out of the way in the same way if you're going through a car wash, the little strings from a car wash kind of roll on top of the car. Same concept is happening here. So I tried to cut it better. I wish I could, but I'm on hour number 3 now, and we're not able to get it any better. I would have to charge for extensive amount of more time to do that, and I can't guarantee that if I spend all day here that I can get that. So when we get closer to the building, I am going to go locate a spot outside to hopefully give you a spot for getting cleanouts. In addition to that, my camera is 73 feet roughly from my toilet stub. And we're not in the city yet, but even with water running, like all the water in the building running, I cannot push the camera head further. Again, we have multiple 90-degree turns, multiple 45-degree turns, and I can't push the camera out further. That sometimes happens whenever we don't have a straight shot or less turns. So because I can't see the end of this line, I can't tell you how good it is. This is sometimes what happens with old lines, especially on corner lots where they're going to the alley, which is what we're working with. So we're going to start pulling back now. Again, I cannot push further no matter how much I try. Camera did verify there is no clean out outside. So we are working with the best with what we got. The 3-inch blades were bended in, so again I wish it was a little better. You know what? I think that might be a crack on the top. Yeah, so that's a crack on the top right there. I was running water. I've cambered this line a few times, but I have to run water to this portion, push it out as best I could. And so I believe that's a crack on the top, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna pause the video, go locate this spot, get a depth. This way we can go ahead and get an estimate built out. Unfortunately, this is something that probably will need to be addressed because eventually it will collapse. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I've located this spot in the driveway heading towards the alley at 5 foot 6 inches deep. This is where we have that crack, and visually looking, it looks like we got another 30 to 40 feet to the alley, so this line is fairly long, and unfortunately we're not going to be able to see past the 70, I think 3 mark is where we were at. So, seeing as to how long this line was, and there's a crack here, I think at this point, if we were to fix the crack here, we would do a spot repair of 5 foot wide, going down 5.5 feet, and replacing this drain at this spot. And then at that spot, I would recommend putting in cleanouts that we can put a cover on. It'll be in the driveway, but it'll be somewhere, middle, 2/3, 3/4 of the way down the line. We can go back up the building, go out to the street. Cammering it will be achievable from that spot once we do that. So I can go ahead and locate when we get back closer to the house to see if we can get a spot closer to the house if you want to do a clean out there. But if we're already digging here, this is a great spot to do it. So I'm sorry that we found something wrong with it. I was really hoping we didn't, but this house is old. So the inside plumbing issue that I mentioned earlier, as well as the long line that turns a bunch, that is something that's going to have to be addressed. So again, my 3-inch blades are not very great when I have to bend them in to get those roots right there. I did pull out a good handful of tree roots, so I'm going to take a wild guess and to say there was more there. There is a turn here, but I wish I could cut them out more, but my 3 runs, taking my time, using the camera, I can't get any better. Same thing with this spot right here, even though that's cut out pretty well. And then right here, I wish I could, but every time I run my cable through, it just moves right to the side. It's not grabbing onto it. If I were to be able to use 4-inch blades through here like we're supposed to, but I can't, then we would probably be able to get these a lot better. Again, the drain cleaner in me really wants to get those, but it's just not working. So up until this point, it does look like the line's in fairly decent shape. I am going to locate where the cast to clay transition is, which should be around the AC, but we'll verify that in a minute. That's just more for record keeping purposes to see if we can, if we want to put a clean out there for whatever reason. We have another, no, never mind, it wasn't that spot. So we're in the cast right now, and then we turn to, it looks like we're doing, no. Yeah, that was our cast to clay, but this right here, this 9-degree turn, we're going horizontal, and then we go straight vertical, taking a drop, and we have another 90 right here. This is what's really restricting me, getting 4-inch blades as well as the 3-inch toilet stub. So those two things together is what's restricting my blade size. So I'm gonna go ahead and locate before it goes vertical, just for kicks and grins, and I'll have pictures uploaded to the job, and this way we can, for whatever reason we want to put some clean outs here instead, we'll have the spot for it. Alright, so the problem here is that this, in the basement you can visually see the cast iron drain going above head, like 7-8 feet tall, yeah, about 7 feet tall, going out of the foundation of the home, but where I've located this spot is still inside, so there must be a dead space. In addition, that the AC's right there. So when we go vertical and go straight down, we're going down to about 5 feet, same distance as the other spot, and it'll be under the AC. And then when it turns, it goes into like in between the garage and the house. So I don't think it'd be advantageous to clean outs here. I do think that the best case scenario is to put clean outs where the crack is, where we're going to do an estimate for you. So visually looking, the cast is in decent shape despite the age, which is what we're looking at right here. But you know, there could be a hairline crack that I'm not seeing, which might be causing that leak at the firm coat that I mentioned earlier. So the best case scenario to fix the leak in the basement is to, this is ABS that we're looking at, and then somewhere in this transition with this water setting, we might have a hairline crack. That's why I said the firm coat might not be the fix. We need to go ahead and anticipate that maybe something's going on here that's causing that slight leak whenever the toilet's being flushed. So I know there's a lot of things going on, and that's, you know, in reality I wish it wasn't so bad, but place needs a little bit of TLC. This is the angle stop that's continuously leaking. It's very old, so we'll do an estimate referral form for our excavation team for the crack and the riser installation outside. And at any time you would like for us to take a look at that plumbing work with the angle stop, the tub, and the sweep, we can do that. I'm not sure if you have your own guys, but we do free estimate walks at this time. So my name is Caleb. Thank you for your time. If there's any other questions, refer to the invoice summary. I'll also write out a lot of this stuff on the invoice summary, as well as referencing this video. If this doesn't answer any questions you may have, feel free to give Garden Sewer Service a call to inquire with the excavation team or a supervisor manager on the work that we discussed. 303-571-5114. Thank you very much for your time.